A big fight feel here for week number 4 of Phase 3 for PEL. As we get down to the nitty-gritty of things, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the analysis desk. My name is Kyle Harris. To my left-hand side, as always, it's Froz and Avenger, my boys. We are back once again. We're here. I got a new tablet, joining you boys as well.
Hey, welcome to the club.
There you go. And overall, I'm excited to be back, getting some more games under our belt here. TSM at the moment leading the charge very valiantly.
Yeah, I mean, TSM has just been playing out of their mind this phase so far. They've basically been winning every weekend, more or less. They've been on the top there all the time. And I feel like it's just so good to see them play. And if you compare them to like Phase 2, Phase 1, I feel like the big difference is not the roster change with Iroh, but it's actually the roster change bringing in DESPERADO as a coach of the team. And it seems like he's been doing some wonderful work with the boys, and we can see that not just in the macro play, but in the micro play as well, when they're in the games, how they rotate, how they take in fights, how they're working as a unit.
And also the diet change, of course. We saw Roy post that in one of the first weeks. But also, they're the only team to have more than 100 points every single week. Yeah. And actually, their worst week was 109 points, with this, which is way above average. So they're, of course, putting themselves ahead. So they have a good cushion now. They have 3 teams that are very hungry, obviously, which are extremely close as well. So we can see a lot of changes as well. I'm excited for today because when we're done with our third map, we're going to be exactly halfway through, and we can kind of stipulate a lot of stuff from it look into what we'll see for the future.
You can do it right now, though.
Yeah, you can say, yeah, obviously, but the halfway point is like the OCD-inducing point to do it, right? Exactly halfway through.
Do you think when you look at TSM here at the top, as we'll take a look at the overall results as a whole, do you think they're a team that's going to thrive into the first place position? Because it felt like in Phase 2, when people were clawing at their heels in 5th place, it was kind of hit and miss for them, but first place might change mentalities a little bit.
I mean, so far what we've seen, and in my opinion, it's been pretty dangerous to be sitting at the first place. We haven't seen a team that has been sitting at the first place for a very long time throughout a phase yet, and then they will get overtaken in the end. TSM so far, they have a pretty good cushion, but as you can see here on the leaderboard, like 320 is the 4 team, 321. It's pretty close. You can have one bad week, and Liquid had that already.
Well, the big 5 sits at the top at the moment here, 1st through 5th. However, there were challenges towards that position, mainly by N47, who for a brief moment last week, Froz, was able to push into the top 5.
They were able to push into the top 5, but also last week was their weakest week so far. I mean, they didn't play the normal game. We didn't see them do good on Sanhok, which is their strongest map as well. At the same time, they've been playing phenomenal coming into PEL here from the contenders and basically showing everybody, we want to be one of the big 5. We want to be part of that. We want to be better than them. And this is a statement from them coming in here and playing this well.
Avenger, thoughts?
And obviously as well, I mean, they're looking to try to go to PGC right now, right? Their only path to it is through TSM and taking their first spot and everything.
It's a big path.
101 points. Yeah. And it's 5 very, very strong teams in front of you that also really wants to win this phase and gain the momentum going into PTC.
Sure, but we're halfway there, so I mean, you still have half of the way to go as well. And if you can do better here in the second half, they might be able to do it. I mean, it's not impossible. Seeing how they're playing the game and so on, it's just marvelous to see. But at the same time, they need to do better on both Erangel and Miramar.
For a team that is like them, potentially also being able to take a first spot like that. Yeah. If you are able to get up there, and if they get the first spot and maintain it for some time, you kind of also have kind of more targets on your back compared to else when other teams will see them in the kill field. Oh, it's N47, because they kind of jeopardize other spots as well if it comes to a case where they would be able to take first spot, right? And I think they're definitely capable of it if they continue some of the good tendencies we have seen from them so far.
One thing that we see from N47 is their aggressiveness from the team itself. That's why they're doing so good on Sanhok. They're super aggressive and they go for every fight more or less. When they do play more passive, we saw them do that last week, what happens then? They don't get the kills and they just die with a few points. Now when they go aggressive, we're seeing them getting 8 to 10 points every game more or less.
The one that I'm looking out for is Misa, the Bloodhound. Let's see if he's going to be able to seek the kills once again.
Last week, we saw him being the top fragger for the week, being the MVP, or what you could say for the week with 28 kills, as Pata said in the interview, or in the intro. Obviously, for me, Misa, he has a lot of potential. It's one of the reasons why he's here. He's a young dude, he's a young guy, and he's capable of fragging as well.
The thing with TSM, as we can see right now, they always feel so confident in the game, obviously. Like, they're not afraid to take any fights. They don't want to back off, but also having everything cleared. When they're doing a breach, they know exactly what they want to do. We've seen them sometimes slip a little bit behind on the breaches, but at the same time, that happens.
ENCE here at the moment, they've got to be looking out to avoid those relegation spots, Avenger. For a long time in Phase 2, they were in those spots, but they were able to claw out at the very end, towards the end, so they did avoid them.
Currently sitting on 200 points. Not in a bad spot, not in a too good of a spot. So far, I mean, they're 50 points from NIP, who sits in 9th. So it's very much doable if they have a good week. We've seen them being able to frag out. I definitely see a 100-point week being able to come out from these guys one of the next 2 weeks, but they really need to step out to be able to avoid the relegation area.
Thoughts before going into Miramar to start the day?
I mean, I just want to see what the team's got to show us this week. Team Liquid dressed up in the Avengers jerseys.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's going to be great. All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Here we have tons to talk about, but we're not going to get a chance to here. We are right into the games. It's going to be Miramar. We are heading over to a commentary duo of Demon and Sims.
Thank you very much. What a time to be alive. We are halfway through, and now it's getting serious out there, Rich. I don't know if you've been talking to the players too much, but there definitely is a bit more of a tension, I think, around the air. Everybody's in serious. No other games are being mentioned or played or touched. It is time. There is vetoes. There's bans in gaming houses. Everybody is focused because now is the time to get yourselves qualified for PGC.
I think it speaks volumes about the fact that it's getting tough at the top. I mean, the top 4 are only separated by 42 points, and when there's only 2 weeks left after this, 3 weeks if you include this week, fair enough. But really, there aren't that many games left to play in the larger picture.
We've gone out of the whole mold of, oh, but there's always another game. Oh, but there's another. Now it's almost heading to that. Oh, there's not many games left. We got to really.
This is where your mistake days do count, and they're a very negative impact on yourself. Usually, you can kind of turn them over and say, "All right, we go again, not a problem. Clean the slate and crack on." Now, a mistake days could potentially cost you a place.
Absolutely,
and that's money.
I mean, there's only 10 more Sanhok maps. There's only 40.
Not that you're counting.
20. No, I actually really like Sanhok casting. I think it's really good. I know it's probably some players might not like that with me, but I actually think that's I think it's really entertaining. Where are we going? Oh, it's a northern circle. That's interesting. Did you see the circle the other week? I think it was on PKL. It was a massive western circle,
it had a ton of,
and it pulled west, and it still had like a good 50% unplayable area. It was,
I'm pretty sure that's the one that Poro tweeted about.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
with Brendan's face just in the background, distantly smiling.
Oh no, that was the other one. Yeah.
He did two of them. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, but yeah, I saw it, and how it can still pull, and again, you will get those circles that are in there, and they keep it in play until I have a long time, and I think that kind of touches on a little bit more what you're talking when we come to Sanhok, is that it does shake things up. It does make things, whether you call it the word interesting or not, but certainly it keeps players on the toes, and it's just something else to throw into the mist of, look, you've got to be good at the game, and you've got to be good on all 3 maps now. It's not just 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're starting to see that why teams are starting to step up. And obviously they were talking about it last week. You know, what was the word they've used for it? The club where we have a team that's won on every single map. I can't remember. The boys on the desk will elaborate on that one. But I think there was only about 2 or 3 teams that have done it so far that have won. And actually, probably as I was saying, I don't expect to see too many teams winning on every single map because there are some that are just specialized. It's working out well. The question is, will we see someone like N47 picking up a win this week? They've been really putting in some impressive performances. GamerLegion, there's a team that's been super serious this week. I want to see if there's any improvements. You can see Fuzzface has pulled up here completely unawares that Hammy, a.k.a. the hamster, is down below.
If he's pulled up on a vehicle,
Hamster's not moved at all, has he? He's not made a sound.
No, because you know with the vehicles that he's here, if he did pull up in the vehicle, unless it was Fuzz that pulled up.
It's Fuzz that pulled up.
Okay,
Hamster's not moved. Look at him. He is a statue. Any step will give him away, so he's just...
I was bringing some scores up, so I do apologise. I missed that one. But yeah, if he has pulled up, then that's fair. It's on the back as well, so
there is a buggy out the back. Does Fuzz just see it now?
Surely his line of sight.
I think he's just seen it. Now he's got mxey coming in, and now it's a problem for Hamster. No, now it was Fuzz that pulled in on that. Heard something. 100% heard something. Whereabouts is this? This is south of the circle, so it's inside the circle.
This is 100%
yeah,
now know the
mxey,
information. That's why mxey stood there. There's no reason for it to why. FaZe is already cycling grenades, so the information has become aware to them. It might even just be a okay. This is a 3 point.
It's a 3-man. This is oh, and Ubah's coming as well. This is not good.
The reinforcements have arrived and been called in. Boys, there is a 3-point lurking, and you know what? That nade's done damage.
It has, and he hasn't even got any meds.
You can't heal in this scenario.
He's got nothing. He's got nothing.
As soon as you bring out the first aid kit and you begin to start healing, you get the audible cue that it's time to go. You see quite a lot of players, and even a few have actually used it as bait before, where they will initially get out the first aid kit and then put it away straight away to try and bait players into it. But the moment that you start to engage that thing, the syringe goes in, the bandage starts to go on, it's just go time. Crack on. There's no chance of healing or getting out of that one.
Aitzy is the one that takes it. Fuzz was on him as well. So the first death of the week is going to be a GamerLegion player. Hamster goes down. The rest of the team will back away. They were kind of, I mean, they were assisting, but it was from a very long range. I don't think they weren't committing for it. Let's put it that way. This circle, though, did have a couple of interesting drops, which has obviously caused a couple of rotation issues. We've got Desperados and M47 both coming up the southwest road at the moment into the circle into Pozo. Now, Desperados are kind of pulled up here. Now, there's been a bit of history between these teams. Last time Desperados pulled up, M47 destroyed them on Miramar. So we'll see whether it works out again. They are going to continue forward. And I'm just wondering, we saw where FaZe were there. I'm wondering how deep they're going to go on this circle. Because obviously the crater is pretty much the center point right now. It's very congested. You can see CrowCrowd and co. This is pretty much the center point. Now, we have seen the circles pull away from here and pull down south. And FaZe, obviously, if you remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, week one maybe, where you and me were doing it, and they had that compound. They committed for the compound just to the east of where FaZe are right now. And basically where GamerLegion are sort of heading, just off to the side of them. It was GamerLegion they pushed out of that compound last time. So I wonder if they're going to commit to this one. It doesn't look like too many are committing further north. They're all expecting this to pull south.
Generally speaking, we don't see too many towards the northwest. Actually, beyond Alcantara, I don't really think we've had any circles that do that, because it does pull away from that western wall. So
there was an Oasis one in, was it MPL last week?
They're rare and they're fat.
Yeah.
It's
MPL
not
or
water
SEA.
exactly,
I can't remember which one I watched.
more just teeters towards
a lot of PUBG in my week off.
the west of it. A lot of people committing around the crater fields, crater, or where TSM are. TSM, we kind of saw it in the weeks previous. Between them now and down towards 7 is a hotspot, if you want to call it, where circles do tend to end. Ooh. And it's a difficult one because you have this ridge line between Na'Vi and all the way down to just the west of where Liquid are, this ridge line where circles never end and simply just do not end because it's inaccessible terrain. Now you're kind of playing the 50-50 game. Which side of this circle do you want to take initially?
Well, Spider-Man is down, so we'll see how the rest of the Avengers managed to handle it this week. I did speak to them beforehand and see if they were going to have a better week, because Team Liquid not had a good last couple of weeks, in all honesty, so they're going to figure things out. Not a good start losing the man early on. SKUIJKE, he's in trouble. Coldamenter's already gone down to G2. And it wasn't really a pull-up. It was more razor-edge trying to pot shots at them. Braexco catches him out. Braexco will get himself a second, and this is going very badly wrong for razor-edge, a team that had a relatively decent couple of weeks so far.
It's surprising that they're losing men so early in this engagement. All right, there is a bit of a response there and fair play. There needs to be, because you said it perfectly. It wasn't necessarily a pull-up. It was more of a quick check-in, and 2 of them had gone by. But they decided to engage on it. Instead, they lost Coldamenter. The man from Spain instantly hits the deck and is just confirmed and cleaned up as quickly as humanly possible. SKUIJKE's back on his feet. This at least helps them out now, but so is Braexco. And the problem is that G2, up close in a scenario like this, they have mxey holding the line for the cross, but they're not going to cross, and that's the problem. So his 2 teammates are disconnected. So it goes to a 2-on-2 scenario. Who has the grenades? Who can find this next player? Because whichever side gets the next knock, in my opinion, will probably commit to the fight.
Slowly getting surrounded as well. mxey's position is getting encroached upon by NELLOZ. Yannis is giving them the cover. It's ChRIZZ that's looking to toss the molly. Looks like he wants to get it onto mxey somehow. But look at NELLOZ. He's trying to get rid of. There's the headshot. You just saw it come in. mxey goes down. Now that's a big problem, because that was razor-edge's anchor point. And as you say, it was preventing any cross coming through. But now NELLOZ, you can see the surround comes in. And now mxey and SKUIJKE are in some serious trouble.
So there should be a commitment here. That's actually been stolen. That's disgusting. Where the hell was that nick from?
Frustration.
That's from TSM. That's a fair distance as well. Okay, well, that's an instant claim on that one.
It does go north.
TomiL has gone down in the kill feed. Rather unfortunate. Desperados lose 1. The Finns pick up a point on way. TSM also. Now, we were speaking about them just a second ago there on the movement. You can see it's ENCE who's actually in a very good position. And
yeah, they came.
No one's really necessarily around them, so they can kind of take whatever they like at this moment.
They came in north of Oasis as well, ENCE did, so they're loving it right now. This pull has helped them wonderfully. Let's see if they can benefit from it as they go into the edge hills of La Cabrera. Meanwhile, Desperados and M47, this rotation is going to be great for them because they're sticking to that western side. Team Liquid, oh no, SIMSY is in all sorts of trouble. EB tries to pull up, but it's too risky. Too risky to pull up there. He's going to carry on down. He's been took out. Dimmy gets him down. EB goes up in a blaze, and that's going to be Vard stealing away that kill. And Team Liquid down 2. You saw SIMSY was down low as well. It's not going to be a good first game for them. Team Liquid in trouble.
Tend to have been the story of the last few weeks, to be honest with you. Their rotations, they seem to be fine, but individually they keep going and they're going to scramble and just lose players singularly. They try and transfer to the circle. Either way, I'm just a caster. We're not here to criticize to the complete and utter maximum. There are a million and one other things that can be going down in PUBG. Intrigued to see how this next circle goes for the simple fact you've got so many teams down in the south of this circle. CrowCrowd, NIP, Liquid, Knights, GamerLegion, even 7. TSM could gatekeep all of these. Raise Your Reg and Wreck are still yet to come into the circle. The problem is you still have that ridgeline in play. The next circle could still go anywhere. We can bop whatever we like. If that ridgeline is still in play come the 4th circle, it can kind of dictate where we're going to go, and teams will then start to scramble. They're all still committing more or less to that same area where things could potentially go, and it's understandably why. But still at the moment, I'd say La Cabrera is really where you want to be. DA are in there. TSM can kind of hold the top side of the hill, which gives them maneuverability and mobility should this shift anywhere. But still, it's going to be a rough one, regardless of which rotation. That's probably why Liquid have lost players, just trying to commit to the center of that crater.
FaZe are laughing right now as well. I mean, because N47 and Desperados decided to just sling it so far north on that west road, it's given FaZe a massive chunk of land. They have this entire edge. You can see them off in the distance there on the crater edge, and they have that entire edge of that crater to themselves. There's nobody else to the west of them, so they don't need to worry about the backs. They can just look down into the crater, look onto the edges of the crater, catch people off. GMT says a knock on Gaxi, but he will get himself back behind the crate before he's finished off. However, Bjorn is very much in no man's land there. Drayden and Snark will be able to confirm that frag. Reciprocity still out in the blue over at Water Treatment. Some long rotates, and they just got out the vehicle. Did Monkey just roll the vehicle? I think they just rolled the vehicle. No, either that or then.
No, they're back in.
They're back in it. They're back in it.
Just rolled out for a second, maybe. There's potential. They're going on a wide swing, and understandably so, because once they approach this edge, there will be teams that are lingering and playing border control. G2 is always one of them that kind of likes to...
They go north of Oasis?
I mean, there's possibility that if they've got the meds to do it, it'll definitely be ticking it. What the hell just happened there? Fex and Tiikzu, okay, GamerLegion's gone. Never mind. They're out of the SERP, boys.
That was, yeah, and we saw them on the edge of the hills, and you can see it looks like they went down low. Tiikzu breached them. La Cabrera, though, you talked about it.
Is the scenario, because now you've got a good indication that it's not going to go towards those crater edges, and more than likely we're going to bounce between La Cabrera and just to where basically TSM is actually holding point. Now is a big scramble, though. Everyone will want to move away from those crates. If this doesn't hard shift to the south, and it would have to be the perfect hard shift, this is just a northern scramble. They're staying alive. They're playing the long game.
They're still going to Oasis.
They're staying alive.
The circle is pulled down to the south side. I don't know where Reciprocity are doing, but yeah, I hope they've got the meds for it.
It's the watering hole. All the
Seven,
just descending.
7 have kind of found themselves. They've just pulled up into this position. It's kind of they've almost wedged themselves in the back, sort of sandwiched between Team Liquid, and you could see up in the hills both NIP and Pittsburgh Knights had them dead to rights, but SIMSY's managed to find himself, or becoming a member of NIP, I'm not too sure. He's putting the ninja suit on. I know he's in the Iron Man outfit right now, but he could put a ninja suit on that. Oh, did he just look away the second he came around the corner? Oh, it's going to pop. See through that gap. Oh, this could be big. He's got to time this right. Where the shot's going off, he's trying to get himself in a position to get some massive surprise on them.
How do they not hear him?
Okay, that's a flush. I know he's like, there's someone on the roof, there's someone on the roof. What's going on? And now Gaxi, did Gaxi just see him? Yeah, he did. He just got a glimpse of the butt of SIMSY. Sees him down low, but he's up on above, and now Gaxi's lost the element of surprise on him. SIMSY's going to drop down low. He's going to get himself out of there into the crate and be able to buy himself a little bit of time to get that first aid off. And that's caused problems. 7 are actually moving on this. Gemty's also moving in to help out.
Shots him up top. So they'll at least consolidate themselves to try and set this fight, but MedZOG are on both sides. Gaxi gets the initial lean. SIMSY goes down, hits the deck, and is dead. That leaves Liquid, unfortunately, in a one-man band. And fair play, it might be Gemty. But still, one player in this final circle is going to be rough. Kind of expecting this one maybe to square up and centralize just below Cabrera, but who knows? Still could be anyone's fair game. FaZe are in a decent position for the simple fact that if it does go in the middle, they can just play edge of that crater. There's got plenty of defense, and more importantly, they can just kill every single person. It's such a choke point. You go on those crater ridges, and you're completely exposed. There's only 2 snaking paths that do come out of it. If they put all the players in that position so they have an eye line on that, they could pick up an absolute boatload of points here.
G2 are getting crept upon by TSM. TSM on a flank around. That's over from the far eastern edge of the circle. Reciprocity, by the way, they've just come in the circle, guys. They're in. They're in. They've managed to make it.
Might have to move straight away, though.
They might well have to move. Where's the circle going to go? You can see TSM. They're kind of crept up on G2 there. It works out for them. They're going to have to fight it around La Cabrera, it seems. And it does mean that FaZe have got to cover some ground here along with CrowCrowd. That's going to be an interesting move. The Knights up in the hills, they've been sitting pretty, taking pot shots on everyone. Now they've got to push in through them. You can see Wanted just got himself a crate there as well.
We'll see FaZe do kind of keep playing edge here rather than going too deep, because if you go where Gemty is on the central side, you're basically dead. It's just very open land. TSM, I don't believe they know that there are teams encroaching on their position directly behind them. There's only 2 players, thankfully for them, so at least gives them. SIMSY, you can hear in the background, that is him shooting. At the moment, he's shooting at nothing, both left and right, to try and keep people at arm's length. He's trying to kind of make sounds to people think, okay, there's a fight there, so we don't want to go too deep. It will work in this scenario because in the middle of the map it's rather open.
They don't know. Desperado is ascending in. Reciprocity have just pulled up there. Meanwhile, it's TSM, we just talked about them pulling up. They've got Razor Edge. They do have them on their sides. Rory gets SIMSY down. That leaves Miikaz the last man standing. They were caught by G2 earlier, and it's G2 that steal the kill. Remember, TSM stole one of the kills off G2 earlier. Well, bit of karma being given there. And now it looks like Tiikzu and CrowCrowd are caught by the NIP FaZe sandwich.
Good use of the trade-off between individual players. One will take the initial shots, and the second TSM, he hits the deck instantly. And second TSM player goes for the overpeak. They get the knock, but not the kill. Reciprocity made an entrance here into the city. How many other teams do we have here? Desperados, ENCE, Na'Vi. Digital Athletics will hold the line at the front, so we'd have to presume that maybe everyone works their way towards them. Kill feed kicking off. Bestelotch does finish off TRYFFELI, so ENCE lose one of their players. mxey onto Vazku. Where's that? Okay, this is kind of what we suggested may happen. FaZe are playing the edge, and they are waiting for teams A to come out of Crater and B to make an entrance point in the north, which actually they do pick up one off M47.
Yeah, that was just off in the distance, and the rest of M47 are going into the edge of La Cabrera. So it's these 2 CrowCrowd members, NOOKIE and Misa, still both pretty much camped out. You can see ubah just gatekeeping FaZe off the side. You got Fuzz and mxey up on high. NIP, they've turned their attentions back to 7, so it is really FaZe they have to worry about. Meanwhile, they're going to go for it. Evil Knievel style, they're going to send it. And it's actually pretty safe once they get over there. If they get clean of ubah and they've got down low enough, they should be in the distance and get away from it. There's a lot of shots coming in the back, though. Aitzy catches NOOKIE, and it leaves Misa on his own.
The problem is he might run into Gemty rather shortly. He's going into all the ditch area. He's actually bypassed him, thankfully, unless Gemty has an eye on this. He is just above him.
Oh, no.
Hello. Welcome to my little hidey hole for now. So that still warns people off that Gemty is now lurking in that central area, and him just shooting causes enough a nuisance of a noise to keep people at bay. Unless you TSM and have a grenade, they might just be able to bombard him out of that position. FaZe now kind of taking full advantage of that position that they had by pinstering teams in there and locking it down. They've got themselves a wide berth of room, to be fair. We still have this holding each other to dead to rights down in the south. The Knights are pinned in all the way up against the white because 7 and NIP are blocking them in. And then just to continue the blockade, TSM are playing on the ridge lines of that crater, which should be out now.
Okay, there we go. Ooh, Centers. Jempty's loving life. I mean, is there anything more iconic than Team Liquid and a player being center circle? Even though the rest of the team's gone early days, they do always manage to claw out those points. Reciprocity in a bit of trouble as they try and cross, but they got over safely there. DESPERADO's taking cover fire. I think that's is that G2? I think it was that's taking shots on DESPERADO as it was from the hillside. G2 have just sent 2 across. Chris and Braexco have just took a central point near Jempty's position. Now Jempty we know is up on high. FaZe meanwhile creeping in on the eastern edge. FaZe have got a really good cover at the moment because they have that whole eastern circle. Down the south, that's going to get very messy. NIP, the Knights, 7, all clashing in on one another with TSM up on high watching down.
So this one can kind of finish anywhere, but generally speaking, we were expecting it still to keep going central. So FaZe can just keep on the hillside. TSM can do what they're doing. They just have to be very aware that mxey is still lingering in the distance. G2 is centralized up just to try and give themselves a bit more of a foothold and be prepared for teams that will be coming out of La Cobra area.
Oh, Navi just sent it across. But the problem is the position you can see they've taken is exposed to everyone in La Cabrera. The problem is everyone that's here, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that are in La Cabrera still, all have to commit to get across that road in a moment. It's looking like it's pulling away from the town.
The positive side is the fact that this area between where Navi, G2 and Jempty is from Liquid, it's all rather staircases. Yeah. You have these little plateaus which will keep you in cover, but also defend you from people who are up on the top of the hills.
It's that big wall, that's the problem. Anything clear of that, you're in a kill zone, basically.
Well, even with some of the grenades that they're going to try and throw down on these members, because again, you have this staircase in effect, they'll have a tendency to hit one level, bounce off, and it essentially just avoids you and goes over your head. It is quite a good defensive stance, unless all the people inside La Cobra area will have like a level 2 building outside of the window. But the thing is, they're so focused on the teams behind them, G2 and Navi can kind of do what they want at this moment in time in the center of the circle.
So G2 just consolidated. NELLOZ and Yannis just blasted it in. They're right above Jempty. They don't know that Jempty's there at the moment. But it has given 4 G2 players the central position, which can be pretty big. FaZe are making moves on the hillside. They see TSM off in the distance. They realize they're both on the same ridge line. Sharing war on the while 7 and the Knights stare at each other. Wanted with that M249 in the close range as well. Jempty does get found out by G2 when they knew they were nearby.
Good clean.
So that sweeps out. That gives G2 the entirety of that big ridge line in the center.
I'm kind of surprised at the moment that, I mean, I understand why they're fighting this one out, but I'm surprised they haven't just smoked them and run upside and got above them. There is potential here that they put the smoke wall up to the Knights, run up the side of where that little metal, if you want to call it a wall or whatever
it is. Sorry to cut you off. This circle's basically give FaZe almost a guaranteed top 3.
Which kind of,
because everyone in the south and north, oh my god,
and that was the power of it. That's why they were holding it, and they knew that they would take fights coming out of the craters and committing to it. Well, fair play to them. It's kind of paid off now. That's what they wanted, and the exact scenario that they were hoping for has played out. Knights like they're completely disengaging for this, take a different approach. Which is kind of a bit of a three-way. DESPERADOs just like that have been splattered.
That was not pretty. I mean, that's what we're going to see a lot of that. Oh dear. miikaz is burning. miikaz is burning. Gustav catches Drayden off. Wanted's going to try and close, but all he's got is M249. Hope and a dream. You're not going to do much from that range. Don't think you can snipe that one down from the hillside, despite the 3x scope he's got on it. It is Iron doing the damage. Krabik's going to get himself revived back in there, but I really don't see any way out. TSM, they're even positioning themselves all across the ridgeline now. They realize there's a lot of points to be had down here.
It's kind of the reverse of what FaZe were doing in the previous one, just lingering here, and that's why they've left 2. My only minor concern is that they have left mxey unchecked. Yes, it's a one-man band, but it's still an individual player that could cause you problems late game and long term. The rest of TSM are getting themselves centralized a little bit. Not of the circle, but at least together. They'll run the hillside to try and avoid mxey, who's just smashing them in the back lines from a distance.
Is there a surprise here? Is Galaxy going to catch them off guard? Looks like they're checking every corner. Yeah.
That's good.
They need to, but the problem is they are taking 5 from
Gustas.
TSM from the side.
That's
Will catch out Sadovnik, realizing it was the nade that he actually ran away from. It was the nade onto 7, and 7 are just eating everything there. TSM catching him out. mxey does go down. That's the backstab potential for TSM, and that just leaves Edelweiss down south for TSM to worry about, and they've cleared their backs, and they can turn and look north towards FaZe and G2.
I'm intrigued next time we go on one of their POBs. How many kills?
Look at this, look at Cabrera. Oh my god, there's 3 teams all running in at each other. This is going to be chaos. Reciprocity coming, DA will go down, N47 are right on their backs. Na'Vi are coming the other side. It's going to get incredibly messy and condensed in here. All through the smoke, you can see the smoke wall that's there. Shiv gets caught out though, and now Red Monkey's in a little bit of trouble.
So many choke points here. So little room to move. They all want to stay on this side of the wall for the simple fact that everyone will have an eyeline on them once you disengage from that point. Scoom taking out some of Na'Vi, that's good for him. Smokes are up. Mert's still there to cause problems within the smoke. If Monkey takes him down, then that's great for them. He spins, he strikes. Monkey, this time he's actually onto an M47 play. It wasn't the one that we were looking from Digital Athletics. They can hold themselves in, hold their own. They're going to pick up some good points, but T-Bone watching the angles is exactly what I don't think he completely expected. The smokes were there, hit him from distance, and Scoom might be the next victim here. He's going for the heels.
Oh no, caught in the revive.
Is down, but they make it into the top 8 at least.
Is Mert still in there? I don't know if they realise it. Now they do, as the Scar goes off too. Not enough bullets in that chamber, I'm afraid, Mert. Page will take him down, just got revived. So N47 win out the battle in La Cabrera. They've got to worry about BeSTLOSH, who's still there. But now we look to really what is, in all honesty, the top 5 teams. We have TSM, G2, FaZe, Na'Vi, all in condensed area. There's a crate gone down almost to troll both TSM and FaZe and to bait them into getting it.
It's a cheeky little ridgeline that they're holding though, but these grenades need to find their targets. They're getting bloody close. A bit more to the left, and that had done some severe damage. The vehicles are there to provide some kind of cover. You won't be using them at this range. Gustav's actually going for it.
He's got it, yeah.
He doesn't have a helmet on, which is rather worrying. He's taking that fight and peeking out. I'm assuming he's either lost it during the engagement or maybe just didn't equip that one, but the level 3...
G2 are making moves. Look at this, they're going center point. So while TSM and FaZe engage, G2 below them are trying to take that central position. Well, certainly CrzyZZ has.
2 for
That's
1.
risky. I just saw them playing close together. Now, there is enough smokes down. I don't know how many more nades they have left. N47 suddenly taking shots across from the Cabrera. This is really bad for TSM. They've got 8 kills and counting. Good points haul from it, but they have to avoid a lot of damage here. And look at the flanks coming out from Fuzz. He's going up and around the top. That's catching him out. Michael goes down. G2 are going to smell the blood in the water as well. They're going to start looking up towards this one, but FaZe are destroying TSM from down low now.
Gustav still doesn't have a helmet, rather unfortunate, and all he's doing is praying for time. Fuzzface puts him in the ground, and TSM instantly get collateral. That 2-for-1 grenade did so much damage and broke everything they were trying to build together. And now everyone else that needs to try and get out of this city, well, Na'Vi have actually basically ditched it. They left 2 there to hold them back and be a nuisance and put 2 in the circle. And everyone needs to come out of there. He's just going to die one by one individually.
FaZe are looking to collect some serious points here. 9 kills and counting. N47 coming out here. G2 down below. They have the overlook on everyone. Now, of course, that does mean potentially everyone could turn around and shoot them on the ridgeline, but they have this back away that they can pull to, and they're almost getting defended by G2. 10 kills and counting. This could be a very big start for a team that struggled to find a win outside of Erangel last week.
I can't believe how everything just went wrong for TSM. I have to question whether they got greedy going for the crit or whether they were looking to use it for cover. But you did say that being so close together just caused them all kinds of problems. 1 grenade took 2 players down, and instantly FaZe just pushed and it wiped them out completely. T-Bone sticking the res survival, but really with the blue against your back, what more can you do? You're just going to feed Na'Vi some points here. You ain't getting across that road alive, no chance.
There is a potential for at least a 16-point game here, 16-kill game for FaZe here. And it's looking like it's going that way. Evil will go down, T-Bone will bleed out. BeSTLOSH, the next focus. He's trying to give the points, so he doesn't want it. Going to go in the blue and just not give the points to FaZe Clan. First aid will go out, so we'll go down to the play zone, and that absolutely makes sense right now. These are teams competing for places at the Global Championships at the moment, and you can see G2 backing away. The nades will start rolling down the hill. Remember, they've managed to loot out all of TSM that were up there. So all the utility, all the meds, everything is in FaZe's favor right now. But the circle will most likely pull away from him. So it's FaZe's fight. G2 just have to hunker down right now and try and keep them at bay. There it is a straight 4v4.
You were talking about the big five coming into this. Well, M47
Fuzzy's
was just
flank.
5 points away from G2 knocking him out of that top 5 position. This for G2 will do so much damage to M47. Yes, they came out not too long, but if they pick up some kills and get this win, it'll just edge them further away from that tiny little bracket of removing them from the top 5 scenario. But honestly,
look at this information.
These kills that FaZe could collect here along with the win are going to be massive.
Fuzz seeing and not going for the shots, trying to go straight from the hip, almost working out. CrowCrowd will get ubah down, but Aitzy instantly replies, gives him the cover he needs. That's a great shot from NELLOZ to take mxey down, spins around and finishes mxey off, but he is the last man standing now as FaZe look to close the gap, and they will, and it's going to be a big game, 15-kill game to start things off on Miramar. Absolutely what the doctor ordered for FaZe Clan.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Instantly while he tries to get the heal, do they strike, take down the final player and pick up the win. But a huge fragging point game for FaZe to open up day 1 of week number 4. Like, talk about a FaZe Sunday. Hell, this is a FaZe Friday if we continue like this.
I mean, they started off with the first kill of the day on GamerLegion. Hamster finished off, and honestly, once you saw that position with G2 down low, there really wasn't anything they could do about it. And as soon as you saw Fuzz get the flank down there, it was looking great. Let's go down though. Parla is down by FaZe.
Yeah, I'm down here. We're starting on the stage. I'm going to walk over to the boys. I can see already that Aitzy's extremely excited to speak to me. Hopefully going to get some giggles out of him. Congratulations, FaZe Clan. Hey, get the giggles out now, Aitzy. Talk me through that match. The ending we'll get into a bit later. It's quite technical. Overall, what was the plan going in?
We were just kind of waiting on our edge. We were playing edge, so we cleared our back fully, and then we had a lot of space in front of us, so we could just move easily further and further.
Nice stuff. mxey, when we were getting into Phase 7, we still had Na'Vi in the mix with a bit of a split north of you guys. You guys had control of the south, and G2 were the main obstacle. They end up being your final opponents. What were you thinking about when there were still other teams in the mix?
Nah, it was only TSM with us on the hill. We knew that C2 and Na'Vi is under us, so when the circle came, we need to take the fight with TSM, and then Aitzy got two guys with the nade, and then we just like, let's push and go around them, and then we cleared them up, and then it was just easy peasy.
Yeah, that was definitely a crucial moment before you kind of had to face off against G2 when you wiped out TSM. How did you structure approaching them?
It was more like we kind of let them come a little close, and then I think it was ubah calling that there's someone at the crate, and he's asking like nade the crate, and then I threw one nade, I didn't get them, but then Aitzy got two guys, and then it was like, let's just push. I said, let's go far right. Aitzy came with me like all the way behind them, and then we just 4 guys pushed them same time, cleared them out.
Good stuff. Fuzzface, ubah, 15-kill game to start off week 4. That must be satisfying.
Yeah, it's always super satisfying, and it's nice confident to like get it in the beginning of the game, of the day, because usually we do it at the end, and it's really nice to do it at the beginning too.
Yeah, I mean, there's that phrase, right? FaZe Sunday. I guess you're turning that into Fridays now too?
It's every day.
Well, it's every day, baby. We love it. FaZe take the first chicken dinner of today. Now, let's head back to the desk.
First with the FaZe win, first with the phase. I've not muted the TV, and these guys to my left-hand side, they're pointing at me. They're like, oh, quick, mute the TV.
Mute the TV.
Ah, jeez Louise. Anyway, FaZe get themselves the first win of Phase 3 Week 4 here to get things going. Good stuff on Miramar for them.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, that was, there was a bold prediction. Very super bold from Lee early on.
D-Man,
FaZe top 3. There was only 3 teams in the circle.
No, there was a
at
bit
that
more.
time.
There was a bit
They're
more.
in a great position.
No,
bold prediction. Just sorry, Lee.
It was good shout though. Yeah, he did call it with like 8 teams left, but they were pretty much they got a circle that was like pretty much a game-winning position. So I like the top 3 bold call right there. There's a chance for him also to call the TSM one. They were also in a decent position, but they had to push and they got wiped. On the other hand, guys, FaZe did fight GamerLegion very early on, so that actually forced them to play Edge. And with them playing Edge, it actually ended up being like they could have played. So it's a northern circle, right?
Sure.
They're in a decent spot to play frag. From the northern side, we usually see long rotations from them where they come up all the way on the northern side. But because they were in a fight with GamerLegion, it could be that that's also the reason why they came in kind of late. They came in on the southwestern side, which turned out to be a pretty good position to play from because they obviously won them the game.
Difficult for a lot of teams to get out of the city, obviously, with that kind of terrain, and we saw them basically massacre each other whilst being able to deal with that. As Pharrell stabs himself with his pen and tries to keep his composure.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of teams, both in the south side and the north side. We saw that on the south side there was, I think it was 3 or 4 teams fighting each other.
Yeah.
And on the north side you had kind of the same thing. I think it was 5 teams. But there was one thing that was sticking out. It was Na'Vi actually having a 2-2 split. 2 inside on the north side, but also 2 in the center of the circle there.
Yeah, exactly. Points here, guys. 5 teams with 0 or 1 point. That is this is going to be very top heavy on the next side. Reciprocity 3 kills and a placement. Liquid 2 kills only. Gemty managed to sneak into actually a really good position.
Yes.
But because it is so much in a divot, there are so many other teams that easily could get to him.
Yeah,
and he got flushed out here. 25 points. So top heavy.
That's some big points for FaZe getting up towards the top. TSM, G2, Na'Vi. 4 of the big 5 getting the top 4 spots. And then one of the teams that's challenging to try and get into the true top 5, N47 there in a 5th place.
N47 once again proving that they want to be one of the top 5 there. And I mean, they did a really good job there. Being on the north side, they had a lot of teams to try to get away from. But at the same time, once they finished that fight, it was kind of impossible for them to get out of there.
Big damage numbers as well. 2,400 damage. One of our kind of top deals. Damage dealt, I would want to say.
Top deals of damage.
That's a good way to say it.
You're dealing out those cards,
but
they also give you some damage.
TSM with 8 kills, kind of only, we can say, but
yes.
1,790 damage, guys.
Fantastic.
That's a high damage number. I talked to that they took this high ground position very early on, put out a lot of damage, and they actually lost, I think I counted 2 or 3 kills that got stolen from them because of this, that they had this high ground and managed to knock a few, but they lost some kills here.
Not only that, but they were super proactive throughout the whole game, making sure that they were taking the control and knowing where the people were, and also saying to other people, hey, this is where we are, we don't want you getting close to us here, so we'll just shoot at you.
You know what I really liked?
What's that?
Their rotations from they never went into the city. They always held a hard ground position where they could scout from, and then they went on the southern side when they saw, okay, this is not 100% guaranteed to be a La Cabrilla ending. It might go south. We've seen circles that have gone south before.
I mean, let's be honest. We said already it would be south of La Cabrilla on like circle 3.
Yeah, true, but we still have 3 or 5 sorry, not 3 or 5 teams. We had 7 teams that were in La Cabrilla that decided to go in there, even though we have tendencies that we see it kind of go out of La Cabrilla sometimes. We see some more innings south of it. We see more tendencies of it going further south of La Cabrilla as well. So again, my point is committing to a city before you're 100% sure that it's going to end in the city can really be hard on you later game.
I do feel though that La Cabrera, if the circle is south of it, is even harder to get out of than some of these other, because you're looking down on the position.
There's no cover.
That's what I wanted to come to. Like, La Cabrera is one of the worst towns if it goes south of it, the circle itself. it's one of the worst towns to get out from.
Yeah.
But it's super easy to get inside because you have the wall, the big wall that is just inside or outside the city, where you can literally just crash on that wall if you're the only team outside. I mean, and from there you can just work your way in super easy.
We've seen it in PEL prior. We saw, I think it may have been Navi or FaZe in phase 1 or 2,
Navi
where they had
outside,
to
FaZe
throw the smoke to try and get out, and then as soon as they try and come out, gun down, everyone's gone.
That was FaZe Clan that was inside.
Yeah, they were inside the wall, but that was circle was actually far further north. I would say
no, it was more to the east.
Yeah, but it was still it had more La Cabrilla inside of it. So like playing La Cabrilla was kind of more viable. But what I'm saying is that was the game where we kind of discussed. We discussed where would it make sense to deny ourselves here? Would it make sense that FaZe Clan just say, you know what, let's not go on this because it's gonna get gunned down?
Yeah.
But FaZe Clan managed to get second in that game, because they were the kind of the last team to exit the city there. So I respect that. But when there's 60% chance that the circle is not going to go in the city, which we saw with the third shift, then going into the city, half of the teams did this. And yes, I know it could be because they didn't have didn't have anything else to play. Sure, then you can try that. But still, I would still try to do something like try to get one of the edges, try to maybe go on some of the high grounds and try to counter that instead, because cities, unless you're sure it's going to end there, just stay away from it.
Basically, a lot of teams, they went to the north side of the city as well, which means you need to cross the road in the center of the town itself, and that itself will be super hard. So what you want to do is do the hard rotations, make sure that you get into a position you can actually just push people from. You don't need to be inside the circle straight away. It all comes down to how quick you are to react and actually rotate on the shrink towards, or when the circle moves out from the city there.
Yeah, absolutely so. I thought maybe we'd have a bit of a different ending towards all of that, because we had something not dissimilar in terms of a starting circle, but that's by the by. Gentlemen, going into our next Miramar game, any kind of thoughts coming off the back of this one?
I would just want to point out in this game, I'm happy to see G2 step up like they did. It was a good game for them, 10 points. Overall, a better performance and a better start from what we saw last week. I want to see them continue this. I talked a bit about them previous, and also going into this week, it's kind of one of my teams to watch. And I really want to see them continue this because I believe they're a true contender for our top 5. They've showed us so far. And we saw Yannis, what he was capable of in week 1. We just saw what NELLOZ was capable of, winning a 1v1 versus mxey, so definitely these guys are capable of more than we saw from them in the last 2 weeks.
All right, gents. Well, thank you very much. Time for a short break here at PEL when we return. Don't forget, just before I did give you a little woof with that hashtag AskPEL, and we'll get some of those questions answered throughout the day, maybe even tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. For now, though, we're going to go to a short break. When we return, more here from PEL.